Hey guys, this is Stacy from eatthebite.com, and today I am making stuffed eggplant with lamb and saffron rice. Let me show you how to make it. We're going to make saffron water first, and that starts with using a couple of pinches of saffron threads that I'll put directly into my measuring spoon and then add it to some room temperature water. I'm going to give it a stir or two, and now we're going to let that saffron steep in the water while we do some other prep. I've got 2 pots going here. On the left, I have a 1/4 cup of green lentils. These are optional, and the recipe is great with or without them. And I've also got 1 cup of basmati rice on the right. I'm going to cook these in the background a little later on while I'm prepping other things. Now, I'll cut the tips off the eggplant. Then I'm going to slice each eggplant down the middle lengthwise. And after that, I'm going to score the eggplant with a paring knife. I'll make my cuts about 1 inch apart on the diagonal. Then just turn the eggplant around and cut in the opposite diagonal to finish. Once you've scored all the eggplant, I'm going to put them on a parchment paper lined sheet pan and brush the cut side with some olive oil. And then after that, I'll season it with a light sprinkling of salt. Then I'm going to turn the eggplant over so they are facing cut side down while they bake. And I'll cook those in a preheated oven at 400 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes. While the eggplant is cooking, we'll do a little more prep. I am chopping some fresh mint for this, and I like to stack the leaves just like I do with basil. So I'm going to stack all the leaves on top of each other, roll them up like a cigar. It should look about like this. Then I'm going to slice that into thin ribbons first. Then I'll chop it down into smaller bits from there. We'll need some cilantro as well, so just cut a piece off the top of your bunch, and then I'm going to chop that down fine like this. I've got 1 clove of garlic, and I'm also going to chop that down into small bits as well. You'll need half an onion plus a chunk of an onion for this. So first I'm going to slice my half of an onion into thin strips, rotate the onion, and then dice it down into smaller pieces from there. And you'll need to run your knife over the onions several times to get them chopped up into small pieces like this. We'll set those aside for now. I've got my tomato paste, and it's really helpful to keep it in tube form for when you just need a tablespoon or so. So I'm going to add that tablespoon of tomato paste into a bowl with a splash of water in it. And then I'm going to give that a good whisk around until it's well blended. And that's it. So we've got our mint, cilantro, onions, garlic, tomato paste, and 1 pound of ground lamb. I'm going to add the lamb to a pan on medium-high heat, and I'll add my onions to the other with some olive oil, salt, and pepper. And with the lamb, we need it to be small and crumbly by the end, so we'll start chopping it with a spatula, and you'll need to continually chop it down throughout the cooking process. You do also want to make sure you stir your onions, and we're going to cook those until they're just about translucent. And then when they get translucent, we're going to add that garlic to the middle of the pan. Let it cook there in the center for a minute or two, give our lamb a stir, and as you can see, the lamb is almost done, and I'm getting it nice and crispy and crumbly. It will depend on the lamb you buy. Some are fattier than others, but I do like to spoon out most of the fat, leaving just a little bit in the pan. Once we drain that fat, I'll give our onions and garlic a stir a minute or two until the garlic is fragrant. Give the lamb a stir. Now I'm going to add the onions and garlic right into our lamb pan. After that comes the tomato paste, the mint, the cilantro, and a little bit of Ras Al Hanout spice. And I'll give you a peek at that bottle here so you can see the label. And now I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of that saffron water. Now it's time to give everything a good mix around the pan until it's well combined. And I do like to give it a little taste here before salting, and then you're going to hit it with a little bit of salt, give it 1 final stir, and we're done. You can spoon dollops of plain yogurt onto the eggplant at the end, but I'm going to put some yogurt in a bowl, then squeeze the juice from about half of a lemon. I'm also going to add a little bit of mint, give it a stir, and that's it. I'm adding a cup or so of my cooked basmati to a bowl, and then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the saffron water in there. Then I'm going to mix the rice and saffron together until it all turns yellow. I'll transfer the remaining rice into a large mixing bowl, add that saffron rice on top. Then I'm going to mix it all together. Once it's all mixed, we're ready to finish the assembly. We're going to add our cooked green lentils, along with the ground lamb mixture. And after that, we're going to mix everything together well. And if you do happen to have a little bit of saffron water left, you can just add it right into the bowl and give it one final stir. And you're done. And I will say this rice and lamb is a meal in itself. It's absolutely delicious. My eggplants are ready, so I transfer those onto a serving platter. And then all that's left to do is scoop that amazing lamb and rice mixture over the top of our nice and tender eggplants. Scoring the eggplant ahead of time means this is ready to be easily scooped out of the skin while you're eating. Now add a little of that lemon mint yogurt to the top. You can also just spoon dollops on top as well. It's up to you. I'll garnish with some of that extra mint and cilantro. You could add a few lemon wedges if you have them on hand. And let's take a closer look at this delicious meal. You can go ahead and serve this on a platter like this, or you could also just plate each portion individually. It's completely up to you. I do hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I do. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.